Welcome, dudes and dudettes, to another episode of Alan Teaches English. Wow! Yes! So this week on Alan Teaches English, I went to the comments section for my inspiration, okay? Go below, leave a comment, it's up to you. Hizir says, great video. I think you should share more of American culture or things that Americans do but other countries don't. Just an idea. Thank you for that suggestion, and I will create a whole video later on things that Americans do that other cultures don't, at least from my experience. But I do have time for one habit that Americans have that some other countries don't, and that is we actually know how to wait in line. The person who got there first goes first, so on and so on, right? If I get there third, I would go third. Normally in America, we wait in line, but in countries like Italy and Spain and France, a line is something that shows you where the register is, or where the thing is everyone's waiting for. Order does not matter. If you are fast and you are sneaky, you can get to the line really quickly. And as an American, when I am traveling abroad, I hate this. I wait in line like a normal person, but I have to fight off all of the people who are trying to cut me, and get off, no. I end up standing really close to the person behind me, and I look behind and I try to block off people and look. It's a complicated process being in line in Europe. Americans, we know how to wait in line. The bulk of this video is going to be really kind of current events. What is going on in America? And I will share my opinions with it, how it's affecting our culture, or what the events say about American culture. So let's jump right in. The three topics I'm gonna go over today is Kanye West is running for president, Donald Trump is finally going to wear a mask in public, first time ever, and I'm also going to provide an update on what has been happening in the BLM, or the Black Lives Matters protests, and some of the changes that have occurred in our government and in our culture. You may have heard this and you were probably wondering if it was true, but I'm here to tell you it is true. Kanye West is actually running for president. Kanye West is a phenomenal American rapper who is also very well known for being the husband to Kim Kardashian. He is part of that crazy Kardashian family that Americans seem to be obsessed with. I am not one of these people, but my goodness. I think that whole family, I think they're billionaires. They make so much money and they don't do anything. They're reality stars and Instagram and Twitter stars, but they're not actresses and actors. Kanye West announced this week that he wants to run for president. Kanye West is also known for being a longtime Trump supporter. Since Trump first took office in 2006, Kanye West has done nothing but wear his red Make America Great Again hat, and he's been a huge MAGA supporter since. Until now. Due to Trump's response to the BLM protests, to the coronavirus, Kanye has officially dropped his support for Trump. He is no longer a Trump supporter, and in fact, this has inspired him to run for president. Kanye also claims that he was infected with the coronavirus. It's obvious to see why Kanye would finally drop his support for Trump. Little side note, most Americans do not support Trump, so just putting that out there. Most of us don't like him, and most of us did not vote for him. Yeah. Kanye has also said that he wants his White House to be formed like the Wakanda government in the Marvel movie Black Panther. Yes, he wants to create a hierarchy in his White House that resembles a fictional movie. And Wakanda is the hidden city in Africa. It's a great nation, so I can see what he's trying to aspire to. On a serious note, this Kanye West news may be funny to hear about. A rapper, an eccentric one at that, trying to run for president. But Kanye West has also admitted that he suffers from bipolar disorder. And his family right now is worrying that he's going through a manic episode and that his mental health is just not there right now. So we can laugh at Kanye, or we can give him our support and hope that he doesn't make any other rash decisions that could actually hurt him or the people around him. So let's keep that in mind. So now, from a former Trump supporter to our president, Donald J. Trump, I think? Donald Trump. So recently, Donald Trump shocked the world once again by announcing that he is going to wear a mask to a military hospital. Yes, our president has been against wearing masks from the beginning. He is obsessed with his power, and he cares about the economy way too much. He thinks by wearing a mask, the world is going to see him as a weak person, and our economy will plummet because of it. This attitude toward wearing masks has also bled into the general population as well. A lot of people are not wearing masks. A lot of people actually believe that forcing the population to wear a mask is un-American and their rights are being violated. There are people out there who believe that wearing a mask is going to kill you. They think the carbon dioxide that you breathe out will just recycle as you breathe, and you will be poisoned by your own carbon dioxide. Kind of silly, but Donald Trump is the main reason this culture around face masks has become so political. If you are a Republican, you are not going to wear a mask. And if you're a Democrat, then you are going to wear a mask. So health in the United States has become its own political issue. It's become a right and a left issue, a red and a blue issue. Yeah, welcome to America. Yes, land of the great. I said that a little sarcastically, but I really do love America. Even though Donald Trump is our president and people think that he is destroying America, I think that he is showing the strength of America, because he has not been able to do a lot of things that he has wanted to do. There are laws and bills and treaties that he wanted to pass, but could not get through our government system. Therefore, we can defeat the tyrant with the system of American politics. And one great thing about America is that our people have the freedom of speech to protest. And people have been protesting for weeks, over a month now, over the death of George Floyd Jr. I did a video on that a couple of weeks ago, so go ahead and check that out. Lots of great little facts and video recommendations in there. And change is happening because of these protests. Police behavior and police budgets have now been under heavy review. Many cities and states have actually changed the way they invest into the police department by taking some of that money and putting it back into the community, back into the education system. We're trying to improve our communities so that we don't need police to be afraid for their lives. We understand that police every day are putting themselves in a dangerous situation. You know, guns are very legal in the United States. People have access to them, and for that reason, cops also need to have guns. People on both sides understand that. But we need to improve our communities so that our cops don't have to work as hard. We don't need to put as much pressure on the cops. So that's great news. The man who murdered George Floyd Jr. has been arrested and charged with murder, and his trial starts later this year. He's been charged with the crime, and in the American courts, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he meant and wanted to kill George Floyd Jr. So with the tape and with previous encounters that George Floyd had with the police officer, we are all pretty sure that he will be convicted and put in prison for a very long time. So justice is being served. Also, you may have seen Black Lives Matter painted across streets, and this is happening in many cities. Washington, D.C. was the first to actually paint a portrait on the streets on 16th Street, but they have since changed it to Black Lives Matter Plaza. North Carolina, LA, New York City, Austin, Texas, and Florida have all done similar things where they have painted huge portraits of Black Lives Matter covering an entire street. So cities and counties and states, they are stepping up and they are recognizing the issues that the Black community has been facing. These protests have also influenced our culture. Sports. NASCAR has recently banned the Confederate flag from being flown at races. The Confederate flag came from the Civil War, where the Union soldiers or the Union Army fought against the Confederate Army over slaves. The North thought that they should free the slaves, and the South wanted to keep the slaves. The Confederates fought other Americans to keep their slaves. And that flag is now a symbol of the South. But we can't forget why that flag exists, why that symbol exists. NASCAR, a very large and popular sport in the South, has banned the Confederate flag. So good job, NASCAR. Also, an American football team in Washington, D.C. is now changing their name. Their previous name was the Washington Redskins, which is a horrible, horrible slur describing the skin color of Native Americans. People have been begging the Washington team to change their name, and they didn't until FedEx told them to change their name. FedEx sponsors the stadium that the Washington, D.C. team plays in right now. And also, Nike stopped selling their jerseys on their website. Money talks. Honestly, the owner was not listening to the BLM protests. He does not care, but he does care about money. And thank you, FedEx and Nike, for actually listening to the American public and forcing them into a situation where they have to change their name. Thank you, FedEx and Nike. Good job. Thank you again so much for joining me this week on Alan Teaches English. I'm also working on my Alan Learns French videos, and I have some other little things that I also want to introduce in the future. So stay tuned. I'm here for you. Give me a like, leave a comment, and tell me what to talk about. And also, leave a comment. Tell me how pretty I am. I'm so pretty. And you are pretty too. And you're pretty, and we're all pretty people. So until next week, peace. Peace out, dudes.